Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode on the Dark Rooms podcast. I am Psychic, and I'm here with Ozone and Underscore. Sadly, Inkyink couldn't make it today, but we are going to be talking about the FNaF timeline. That's right, we're finally going to be tackling that topic.
Why do you sound excited about it?
Because I'm optimistic.
Good luck with that.
Oh, shut up, Ozone. Yeah. We're just gonna Underscore already has like a bit of a timeline. And I figured we'd talk about that, work through it, and just, see what happens. See if we think of anything smart or if we're just idiots the whole time. You never know. Alright, so Underscore, would you like to post your timeline in the...
Dude, how about we actually go through this chunk by chunk? How's that sound?
Alright, okay.
Yes.
And you can give your input on what I've written so far.
Alright.
But, and propose. Okay, so someone read this out.
Ozone, would you...
The FNaF time... Okay, wait, what voice should I do it in?
Just regular voice.
Oh, damn it. I want to do it in
do a voice. You can do it if you want.
No, I'm not doing...
You're going to desecrate my timeline with one of your goofy voices.
The FNaF timeline! The FNaF timeline begins around the late 80s. Damn it, I read wrong.
Go. Again.
Someone else read, I can't read.
Oh my gosh.
The FNaF timeline begins around the late 70s and early 80s with two men, William Afton and Henry Emily. Henry Emily lives in Hurricane, Utah with his wife and two children. His daughter, Charlotte Emily, was born May 13th, 1980. William Afton lives in New Harmony, Utah, a town built off the income of a local steel mill. Wait. Okay, I'll ask a question in a second. With his wife and three children. These children are named Elizabeth Afton, the crying child, and Michael Afton, with Michael as the older sibling to Elizabeth and the crying child. So,
What's your question?
Is it confirmed that A, William Afton lives in New Harmony, and B, that's the town with the steel mill? Because that reminds me of Into the Pit.
I've done a ton of math with the Fazbear Frights, how everything... Wait a second. I might have...
Firstly, I think we shouldn't get too far into Fazbear Frights stuff today because that was like last episode.
Right, but I like Stitchline is confirmed to be in the game time, so I figured I'd bring it up because
but it's still kind of controversial. But
right,
I did a bunch of math on the geography, and I think there was one issue with Into the Pit. It was that. What was the issue?
Isn't He Told Me Everything like? Wasn't there a steel mill in that one as well?
I believe so.
Steel Wool was in He Told Me Everything. He Told Me Everything. The steel mill. He Told Me Everything. He Told Me Everything. Probably in New Harmony, because sister location Fredbear's. But the problem was that what was the problem with it being in New Harmony?
Was it to do with the FNaF 6 location?
I think I put something like Into the Pit. I looked some sort of building up, and it put Into the Pit like 3-hour drive away from New Harmony and Hurricane. So I just scrapped that and figured, yeah, Into the Pit's in New Harmony, but Freddy's is in Hurricane.
Interesting.
Okay.
I have a bit of an issue to work out on that one.
Anyways,
Jeff's a mad lad.
So
you want another paragraph?
Why is it late 70s, early 80s? Like I figure, but like just like it's like something like, is it just like an arbitrary time, or is it like there's like
it's just an estimate,
Okay, just an estimate. Okay, that's what I was asking.
Because we know like earliest time 1983. You got to assume crap was going on late 70s, early 80s.
Right. Because
just around that.
I guessed.
Yeah, because Freddy said it'd be popular enough to have its TV show in in 83. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so far, I think that's pretty accurate so far.
Sweet.
What's next?
I'll figure out the Into the Pit thing later.
Right. Okay. Hurricane and New Harmony Hurricane and New Harmony are towns in Utah about a 30-minute drive from each other. William is the founder of Afton Robotics. Okay. You changed the text, so I was confused. Like I thought you posted something else. Founder of robotic company, he operated from a facility deep beneath his house and neighborhood. The facility would be connected by tunnels to the Afton household, the neighborhood's sewers, and a certain upcoming restaurant. So,
that being Fredbear's.
So
Okay.
the underground
silence.
facility was made first?
I put it there, but I'm not sure when
Alright.
it was made. But considering it's connected to Fredbear's,
It's
it's got to be at least by 83 that he has it, right?
What do you mean the place where this location takes place?
Yeah, but it's not sister location yet. It's just after robotics.
It's not Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rentals. It's
But that's what it
just
becomes.
his workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would become that.
Right,
So
okay.
does he like start with Circus Babies or Freddy's?
What do you mean?
Like which
Well,
like
what
first
came
restaurant
first?
ever
What came
opened?
first?
I think
What came first, the Freddy or the baby?
I think what comes
We're not
first
there yet.
is Fredbear's, but that's just what but you probably have more
Fredbear's.
to say. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, Fredbear's. Yeah, but after
I've
that.
been recently convinced that Babies is actually like after Freddy's and Fredbear's.
Okay.
I used to think it was really early, but it's probably after both of them.
All right.
Yeah, I've always thought it was kind of early.
Henry and William, being business partners, decided to open Fredbear's Family Diner, an animatronic-themed restaurant in New Harmony. While Henry was responsible for creating the restaurant and mascots, William served as a skilled animatronic technician and businessman, likely providing for most of the funding for the business. They also created a corporate entity of Fazbear Entertainment to better run the franchise.
Seems pretty reasonable.
See, it's reasonable. Quick question, just a couple questions. So did Henry not have anything to do with the first couple robots? Like, because I know, like, he was also a robot maker, right? Or am I misremembering that?
Yeah, in the novels he made the main four, and he might have even made the Springlock suits. And
That's what I would say. Yeah.
with timelines, you can never know the precise of what each of them did.
Right.
So I figured that William being skilled technician and businessman, and Henry making the mascots, him making the mascots is kind of like him making the animatronics themselves. Right. He had a big hand in them, at least.
Right. Okay.
It's also hard because like Fredbear's isn't really under Afton Robotics or Fazbear Entertainment, is it? It's kind of like just there.
It could be under Fazbear Entertainment. Probably is. Probably not after robotics, though.
Right. Okay. All right. Next paragraph.
Not even to the freaking bite of 83, and I already have 4 pages.
All right.
Oh, God.
Fredbear's Family Diner features Springlock suit, a type of mascot. Could you said animatronic suit mode? Yes. Mascot animatronic mode are set to walk towards sounds they hear, making them completely autonomous, while mascots in suit mode can be worn by employees for performing. To suit mode, hand crank, compress animatronic, right. Yeah, we know all this.
To activate suit mode, one must use a hand crank to compress the animatronic mechanisms around the insides of the suit.
I'm sorry. I keep forgetting that the viewers won't see exactly what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm so sorry.
Doesn't really matter. It's just the basic.
It's
just the basic functions of a Springlock suit, anyways.
Yeah.
Who do we think made like the components of a Springlock suit? William or Henry? Who was most responsible for that functionality?
I think it could have been like a combined thing.
So I figured too.
Like maybe like William was like, "How are we going to, like, do we want to do this?" And Henry was like, "What if we tried to find a way to make this happen?" And Henry was like, "Oh, what if we did this?"
I actually thought it was more on like Henry's side, personally. That's kind of, I guess it's more of a headcanon than a confirmed like timeline piece.
Right.
Because like I don't know, I just think it's cooler if like it's kind of funnier and more poetic if Henry made the suit that Afton like stole and used to kill kids. It's kind of like poetic there, but
I wouldn't say
yeah.
I wouldn't say funny, but I agree. I agree mostly, yeah.
Well, child murder isn't funny, no.
It could be.
Wait, if a clown's killing, it will be funny.
What? Oh. I'm gonna have to
Anyways.
explain a bit of this next paragraph.
All right.
Pinnacle of comedy. This function made Springlock suits extremely revolutionary and practical, but also extremely dangerous with how sensitive the springlocks were, especially to sudden movement or moisture. If the springlocks were accidentally triggered, they would release the animatronic components of the mascot, in turn skewering whoever might have been inside the suit at the time. In case this were to happen, Fredbear's was built with a safe room for employees to bleed out in. This safe room was completely off camera and invisible to the animatronics. The room is likely made invisible to animatronics by emitting a specific frequency.
All right, I gotta defend two things here. One, why Fredbear's has a safe room, and two, the frequency thing. Let's start with the frequency thing.
I actually
Does anybody?
I don't disagree with the frequency thing actually.
Does anybody? So why do you not disagree with that?
Because in the novel trilogy, they had the little disc that emitted a frequency that made things invisible to the animatronics.
At one point, I think Carlton.
Yep.
He's got a little earpiece, and he clicks it, and Baby's hunting him down. But the moment he clicks it, she can't see him.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So probably like that. For the reason that Fredbear's has a safe room in this, I'm assuming that Freddy's is gonna open after Fredbear's, and I guess this one's a little stretchy. They need somewhere to put the Fredbear suit that did the bite after the bite itself. They didn't have a Freddy safe room, but they could also just put the suit anywhere.
Right.
Maybe I'll change a bit of that later.
I'm
But
not sure.
I'm assuming that since Freddy's had him, like they say in the FNaF 3 calls, most other locations also had safe rooms.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, these aren't massive details we really need to go over, but just some cool things to think about, I guess.
It's groundwork for the story.
Yeah. Springlock mascots featured at Fredbear's included Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, with them being a golden colour, while non-Springlock costumes were specifically by employees for special performances included... Wait, that doesn't make sense.
You
Non-
read something wrong.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Springlock mascots featured at Fredbear's included Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, with them being a golden colour, while non-Springlock costumes were used... What? Oh, used specifically
There's
by
no word.
employees. I don't know what you're talking about.
Look, non-Springlock costumes used specifically by employees for
Included
performing.
Freddy Fazbear and multiple variants of the other golden characters.
So
Okay. You first.
So wait, there were non-robotic suits. Is that what that's saying? It's like
Two reasons.
Okay.
Did you ever see Fredbear's Singing Show, the poster?
Fredbear, is that like a poster in Security Breach?
All the Security Breach posters, those special old vintage ones.
Right. I don't remember them like specifically.
The point of those things is that they've got Freddy at Fredbear's Family Diner.
Yeah.
Like Freddy
yeah!
Fazbear himself is at Fredbear's. And he's probably the Take Cake thing. Like Charlotte died at Fredbear's probably.
Okay.
That is a Freddy that's doing
I
a
agree
Take
with that.
Cake.
Right.
And
There was a whole debate about that, wasn't there?
furthermore, Freddy. Well, the one about Fredbear's Singing Show.
Yeah.
It does say that. It does say that is Freddy in the Fredbear Singing Show poster.
Oh no,
And
I
if
agree.
And if I pull up the poster, let me find it.
There was definitely a huge like crossover at that time. That was like a time period where Fredbear's and Freddy's were obviously open at the same time, and there was a lot of crossover there.
So the idea was that the night Charlotte died may have been a Fredbear's Singing Show, where Freddy was going around performing, serving food and stuff.
From Take Cake.
Like an open mic night.
Like an event. Like this is a special event happening tonight, and it's just a vintage themed,
Come see Freddy.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah.
And that would give more merit to why the poster Fredbear's Singing Show exists. It's not that Fredbear's has been around since the 50s. It's that this is a little themed show, and that's when Charlotte died.
Right.
Also,
Because I guess it was.
fun fact.
It's weird how we have like two different like versions of Charlie's death. I guess.
Kind of.
Because like I mean,
What do you mean?
Two different perspectives.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, we don't see Freddy in the FNaF 6 one, but we
Don't see the puppet in the original.
yeah.
Also, the sprite for Freddy in the Take Cake to the Children minigame is the same as the logo for Pizzeria Simulator, I believe.
Good point. Good point. I'd say Pizzeria Simulator might be a little golden, more golden, but
Possibly.
that is true. Yeah,
There's also
or
a
it might
rainbow
just be
behind
lighting.
it.
It might just be lighting too. But yeah, FNAF 6 pretty heavy Charlie's death symbolism.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Yo, all right, let's skip ahead to October of 1983.
Oh, this is when.
Oh, this is the Halloween stuff
Oh yeah,
that you like talking about because of Curse of Dreadbear.
yeah.
Full fest. While most characters of Fredbear's were animal mascots, the restaurant also had its own special animatronic. Ooh! The security puppet was an animatronic designed by Henry to keep his daughter Charlie safe while at the diner. Every kid at the establishment had their own color-coded bracelet, with the security puppet watching for green bracelet code 934012333, which happened to be Charlotte's. With the security puppet camped out in its gift box at the diner's entrance, it would watch for Charlotte's bracelet code, ensuring that she wouldn't be leaving the building.
Where did that very specific like code come from?
Lefty's blueprints.
Yeah.
I dug deep for this one.
That would be a good like FNAF game show question. What was the code?
What is Charlotte's bracelet code? 934012333. That's impossible.
Imagine if we like flipped the number upside down and it spelled like boobies or something.
Oh my gosh, why are you like this?
What is it? It's like 5318008. Funny calculator. Funny
Pretty much.
All right.
My question is, why is there a security puppet if
Hasn't been any instance yet.
Yeah.
That was a question I had to ask myself too, and I would see one side of the argument where there's a ton of sense if the security puppet just exists and everything bad happens after it exists. And I for a long time I've seen I've been with the evidence. There can't be a security puppet if nothing bad's happened yet. But it made more sense to just assume Henry wants to unconditionally keep Charlotte safe.
Yeah, I think
That's what I went with.
It was definitely a Henry creation to keep her safe.
I just assumed that it was easier for the timeline to work if he just made it unconditionally. Nothing bad had happened yet. He just wanted to take that extra step to keep her safe.
I actually think I might just disagree with you there, but
All right, that's fair. Because for the longest time I did
know.
too.
Let's
I'm not sure what my case is though. I don't know if that's like after the bite, then like Henry protects his daughter or something. I don't know.
I think the hardest one for this was Henry saying that the wound first inflicted on him.
Yeah,
But then you've got the security puppet presumably happening after something bad's already happened. So
I'm
those
just
two
wondering
really-
if Henry.
Well, maybe it could be like the wound be like a William murder. So if like bite victim or Elizabeth died first, then Henry could be like, okay, I'm scared for my daughter. But
I was
also,
gonna say, what if Henry built the Springlock animatronics? Frickin' the bite happens. William takes it out on Henry, and and Henry's like, "Oh, I gotta keep my daughter safe."
I have a slight problem with that though. What is the main problem with that is what spirit's in the Fredbear plush if the crying child is the first death?
I think it's just remote control. Honestly, I think it's just William.
I think that the golden color is, but the lighter golden color at the ending, the color change is not.
It could just.
It's gotta be a spirit.
Or it could. I don't know.
The color change, man.
But it's a very slight color change, and I remember one of Matt has last theories that I actually liked. He was like, it could just be Michael again or something, but that doesn't make sense.
That's not his color. It's not his.
Yeah,
text
that's
color.
the thing. he said it was talking through the plush.
I don't think Michael acts that way either.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
besides, we have Michael talking right before those lines anyways.
Right, you're
in his
right.
gray
Mm-hmm.
in the coma.
I don't know.
Maybe it's a figure of agony. I don't know.
But it just doesn't make sense that because no one's died yet. I think Bite Victim was the first one to die in the series, so it doesn't make sense.
I'm going with the spirit. I'm going with the spirit evidence. Someone's got to die before Bite Victim. I'm saying that someone's.
I get why you believe that.
Yeah, I get it too.
What is the evidence for Charlotte being the one talking to Bite Victim?
That, the puppet oversees most of everything, and that the person in that ending is probably also who's running FNaF World. The eyes.
Yes.
That Charlotte mostly oversees everything, in a way. Gives life to these kids. Is just super protective over everybody. I think that was the main reason.
Oh, and the eyes are similar to Security Puppet's eyes, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pretty close. That was the reasoning.
FNaF World is weird. See, I don't like FNaF World. It's so weird. Doesn't make sense. Also has things like Virtua Freddy. Can I just
love FNaF World?
I love Virtua Freddy.
No,
Virtua
don't get me started on Virtua Freddy. Virtua Freddy makes no sense. He's the worst character in the game.
He's non-canon. Why?
I don't like him. He's horrible. I can go on a full-on rant about Virtua Freddy. He is literally doesn't make sense. He's stupid. He's pathetic.
If we can have virtual Michael Jackson, we can have virtual Freddy.
I'm really curious. What makes no sense about him?
He's just green Freddy. It's like Shamrock Freddy, but worse.
Have you seen FNAF AR?
Shamrock Freddy.
Yeah.
Listen.
Have you seen FNAF
Yeah,
AR?
Freddy's right.
Green Freddy's been.
It was
the
first. It was like, you know what? Virtual Freddy was probably the inspiration for FNAF skins.
FNAF AR skins? Nah. I bet the Jackos mostly were. They were the first skins before skins were a thing, basically.
I guess.
Enter.
Anyways, what were we talking about?
Oh wait, are we finished with what we've talked about?
Yeah.
I guess. Let's keep going with underscore's timeline. On October 31st, 1983, Henry and Charlotte were in New Harmony, with Henry leaving Charlotte at a Fredbear's Family Diner Full Fest party. At the time, a special vintage performance known as Fredbear's Singing Show was going on, in which Freddy Fazbear was going around the diner delivering cake to the children. During this, three bullies decided to lock Charlotte outside the diner in the pouring rain. The reason the security puppet didn't intervene is because a stack of gift boxes was stacked on top of its own gift box, trapping it.
All makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Firstly, just for people who haven't seen your video, explain why October 31st, 1983.
Because that's Charlotte dies on a Halloween party in the novels.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wait, really?
A Halloween party. Yeah.
Listen, listen. I skimmed those books. I didn't have
Dude. A bit of an issue I have with this is that the math in the novel doesn't exactly add up. It says she dies in 83, but they find the newspaper about her disappearance in 82. So maybe she disappears in 82, pronounced dead in 83. And I have no idea what that could mean for the games. But I'm just going to say October 31st.
Oh, it doesn't look 3 years old in the games.
Yeah.
Also,
she could be.
The novels aren't. Didn't Scott say that they aren't like super canon or something?
Yeah, they're not canon, but there's a lot of crossover.
I will agree. There's a lot of crossover, but like you know what I was saying. Like I hope you know. I was like.
I also think that's like the only date we have.
Yeah.
Like the only thing we could really take. But then when does the bite happen? Underscore.
Well, let's get into that. Keep in mind, let's see, October 31st, trapping it. All right, let's drop this paragraph. We're not even to the bite yet. Hold your horses.
Okay. Now something good is gonna. Oh, damn it.
No.
Now, something good to know about William is how evil of a man he is. He's the kind of person to find a cruel pleasure in the suffering of others, as if the world owed it to him. It just so happens that on this night, William was driving by Fredbear's and spotted Charlotte locked outside. William took this opportunity by driving up to Fredbear's, killing Charlotte, and leaving her to die in the back alleyway as he drove off. The security puppet was able to escape its gift box, leaving the restaurant in search of Charlotte. The heavy rain outside damaging its circuitry. Once it had found her, the security puppet slumped over next to her, allowing for her soul to possess the puppet, in turn giving the puppet's mask a set of tear streams. Exactly. And I like how you mentioned the tear streams.
Yeah.
That relates to the security breach.
Okay. So William's motive is just he's evil?
Where else would he have kind of? I guess he could have been. William's motivation is a very tough topic.
That is the only problem I have with Charlotte being first in the series.
Yeah.
Why he just kills her for no reason.
Yeah. It's what
there's a lot of character dynamic that we really gotta pull from the trilogy, and I know we don't really like doing that. It's iffy, it's kind of stretchy, but William is, normally just evil. He kills Charlotte, and then Elizabeth dies. We never hear about any of his other kids dying before Elizabeth dies to the robot that he had to work on for Charlotte. You know?
Yeah.
So in the novels, he's mostly unconditionally just a murderer.
Just like in the game.
That's at least what I'm applying from the novels to the games.
I don't know. It's just like I just think I feel like it needs a better motive than just I'm evil.
What about Grandpa Afton?
No, we don't talk about Grandpa Afton.
We don't talk about.
Okay, we can't do that every single episode. We do it every single episode.
Well, I always say we don't talk about someone, and I hope that someone else is gonna finish it. I know someone is. It's always Ozone.
It's always Ozone.
Look, for the longest time in old timelines, I had put William's motive as, oh wait, one of his kids has died already, but for this, I just put that it was,
we don't talk about Afton. It's just this series is FNaF AR, am I right?
Oh my
Pretty
gosh.
much. Yo, next paragraph. It's good to go over these issues so I can kind of work on this myself.
Yeah.
And if anyone in the comments has something to say
sharing.
or want to yell at us, yell.
I'm sure they'll have things to say.
Oh, just tell us how we're completely wrong, please. I want to hear everyone screaming.
I think with everyone really, it's really difficult to order kind of like Charlotte's death, the bite of 83. Yeah. I guess Circus Baby.
1983 is the hardest year to organize. That's the thing.
Definitely.
Because we don't see it in the games. Mostly.
Yeah. It's tough.
I find like the start of the timeline is the hardest. It gets easier and easier, and then there's security breach.
Oh my gosh, I was about to say.
We don't talk about security breach.
Oh my!
Doesn't even work. Charlotte is discovered dead along with the puppet. However, William gets away with the murder. Ooh. In Henry's grief over the death of his daughter, he takes the puppet and repairs it, perhaps even discovering that Charlotte now possesses it in the process. The death of Charlotte likely results in a divorce between Henry and Mrs. Emily, his wife. Mrs. Emily. Imagine if his wife was called Emily. Henry likely takes a bit of a step back from the Fazbear Entertainment business, either out of grief or suspicion of his business partner. I reckon Henry knew he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. But he couldn't do anything. He really couldn't.
There's no proof.
Yeah.
Imagine Henry's plan in FNaF 6. That kind of plan was like 50 years in the making.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
probably.
totally. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
What?
also like something I've just thought of is like Henry had to know about Remnant and stuff in order to realize like we need to set this place on fire to neutralize the effects and stuff.
Well,
Set all the
with
children
FNAF,
free.
with the FNAF 6 thing, he did have the scooper blueprints, so he had to have at least found those
Oh
blueprints.
yeah. Oh
Mhm.
yeah, I didn't think
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah. That's how
Oh, that
we
is
like.
Henry.
That's how.
Either he-
That's how we know about Remnant from the FNAF.
because of the because Henry knew
Mm-hmm.
basically. Also, I really do want to parallel a lot with the novels, but I assume that maybe one of the reasons Henry doesn't kill himself in the games is maybe because he found out Charlotte was still alive, possessing the puppet, which is something that didn't happen in the novels. She was dead.
Did.
Dead. Dude, imagine picking up this puppet thing next to your daughter, and it's now got a tear stream track that you didn't add to it. It's gotta be quite creepy.
Oh
That's quite a creepy thought. I wish they'd explore things like that.
yeah.
I wish there was like a story where it was like truly canon, like totally presented as canon, like just showing like Henry suffering as he holds like the puppet in his hands, like this is my girl.
I know that's what.
Yeah.
I know that's what. I know people really wanted the Fazbear fights to be like that, just like stories from the games, like. Yeah. You know.
Like they don't have to tell us much about the lore. I just want like actual emotion behind some of the story.
Yeah.
That would be nice. All right. At this point in my epic timeline, we're gonna get into some weird stuff.
Oh, brilliant.
It's FNAF. I think we're all ready
glad-
for that.
It's gonna get into the thick of one of Fazbear Fright's most interesting aspects.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Okay, here we go.
This is November 1983.
I'm gonna mute real quick,
November
but you guys keep talking.
1983.
We were just in October. Now we're in November.
Okay, November 1983. Due to the popularity of Fredbear's and the Freddy Fazbear character, Fazbear Entertainment introduces the three new characters of Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy the Pirate to form their very own band with Freddy Fazbear. These characters become widely popular through merchandise such as masks, plushies, and figurines, as well as their appearance in the Fredbear and Friends animated cartoon. William's kids even had their own Fazbear-related merchandise with the Crying Child set of plushies and Michael's Foxy mask with the set shared between his friends. They might have even gone so far as to get their own themed carousel at Fredbear's Family Diner. Okay, that's related to the logbook, I assume.
That's why I'm saying Freddy's opens quite a bit later, but they have these characters around the time of Fredbear's, like the carousel. The branding's there. They just haven't made a restaurant about them yet.
Interesting.
I can agree with that actually.
Yeah.
Like they didn't make Disneyland before
The characters.
cartoons.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense to me.
I can agree with that. So it started as Fredbear's. There was merchandise and stuff for Freddy, and then Freddy had his own area.
Yeah. All right. This is going to be a short and a little bit of an offshoot weird one, but it explains something.
Okay. Around this time, William may have also been experimenting with new plastic-based characters in the Afton Robotics facility, these being Balloon Boy JJ and a few more miscellaneous humanoid figures, one of which may have gone on to form the Lally's Lollies brand, and a Funtime Foxy toy, which was given to Elizabeth.
The toy in her bedroom.
Yeah.
Mangle.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I have to put Balloon Boy and JJ there because Nightmare Balloon Boy is canon,
Right.
and that's a bit weird.
Yeah.
I think
That's why I mentioned experimenting with, but I didn't say where. just
So-
experimenting with.
While we're just like talking about FNAF stuff, I've actually been thinking about. I talked about this in Ozone server, and I actually haven't said it on the podcast yet, but I want your thoughts on it. I wanted to know what you guys thought about maybe some of the FNAF 4 like information just not being canon, like they're just Easter eggs. Because I know like
What information?
stuff like the Night One phone call in the background and other stuff like that.
I'd say that's definitely the Dream Theory intent.
Yeah,
Can you give a little more than just the phone call?
I haven't because I haven't like thought about it in depth yet, but I just remember thinking like Scott said that everything had a purpose, but that was back when Dream Theory was the intent. So I was like wondering if you could think of anything that just doesn't really make sense anymore because they changed.
Because surely we can't use the FNAF 1 phone call in FNAF 4 as evidence for something.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make sense anymore.
Right. What did you think about that underscore?
I don't think that there's much in FNAF 4 that needs to be not canon. The phone call, there's an explanation.
Which is?
Yeah, which is?
Michael's nightmares. Michael's having the nightmares.
That's true.
In a way.
Potentially,
yes. And that he worked at FNAF 1. They could feasibly be there.
it just depends on when FNAF 4 gameplay takes place, I guess. But yeah, that was just a thought.
Yeah, I'm
I'm not sold on this. I'm just saying like, hey, I thought about this. I wanted to know your thoughts.
I can't think of much from FNAF 4 that wouldn't need to be canon.
Okay.
Yeah, you talking about
you did bring up a fair point.
You talking about Mangle just reminded me of that because maybe that's why it's there, just to be Dream Theory, you know.
Yeah, and speaking of Mangle, so you're saying Elizabeth got a Funtime Foxy toy, which then goes on to be FNAF 2 Mangle.
No, I'm saying this is just a toy.
It's just a toy.
It's just a toy. Or a prototype.
Why does it turn into Mangle in the room?
She rips it apart. That's what kids do, man.
An animal.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. Kids do break toys.
It's rip toys apart, dude.
I'm not sure about that because I think it's too similar to the FNAF 2 Mangle.
I think maybe right now it's a toy, but like it could be just it was going to be Mangle for Dream Theory intent. Like we
could also
about.
Be an example of foreshadowing, if not Dream Theory.
Yeah.
That the Funtime Foxy toy would always inevitably end up getting mangled.
Again, that's one thing I'm questioning right now about that. But
yeah.
Okay. After the murder of Charlotte, William was ready to step things up with a new experiment and a new abduction. William's new invention, illusion discs, are quarter-sized discs that emit a high-pitched frequency which messes with the perception of individuals in their vicinity. If applied to an animatronic, the discs could make it appear as either a completely different image or how the individual interprets the character.
All right.
Don't the novel characters, they know like what kind of monsters the animatronics are, so they see them as really creepy?
Yeah.
Isn't that how that works?
Something like that.
But kids might see them as fun little characters.
All right, here comes the question.
Do it.
How do we know the discs are in the games?
Yes, sir.
What proof is there in the games to show us that? Or, I guess, in Stitchline, because that's also books connected to the games.
Benny is using illusion discs.
Let me look at my list. Oh. Directly connected. Into the pit. Hide and seek. 1:35 a.m. Step closer. Count the ways. Eleanor's heart pendant.
Eleanor. Okay, there you go. That's okay. Yeah, I agree with that.
That's a good example of one.
Yep,
Thank you.
I agree with that. Okay, you sold me. Good job.
Sweet. Yeah.
Wait, was it confirmed that it was an illusion disc?
I think the way
it acts exactly the same.
Yeah, it emits a sound because Larson hears the sound when he has he has it. It changes everyone's perspective, even Sarah's.
And in the Ultimate Guide, I believe they said Lucky Boy has an illusion disc, or could have an illusion disc.
I haven't seen the evidence for that, but
did
Lucky Boy?
Did the guide
Lucky
say
Boy's
that?
debatably canon.
because Sergio thinks that he's getting more attractive when actually he's chopping off everything. Off
Here,
his
let
body.
me check that real quick. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab the book.
Yeah. I know that he was like chopping his like stuff off, but I wasn't sure if he genuinely thought that was making him more
he
attractive.
genuinely thought it. That makes it even more chilling.
That's why I'm wondering if he was just delusional, or this was actually illusion disc stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's illusion.
All right, Sergio's lucky day. Illusion disc. Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
what, you have to look
yeah.
up.
In related elements, illusion disc ? Sergio becomes more entranced by Lucky Boy and more detached from reality as the story goes on, even altering his body by himself. Okay. It's unclear if Lucky Boy contains some form of illusion technology, as seen in To Be Beautiful, but others notice Sergio's at-home plastic surgery only after he leaves Lucky Boy in the hall.
It says some sort of illusion technology likened To Be Beautiful.
Yeah, also says others notice Sergio. They only notice that Sergio's cut himself after he leaves Lucky Boy in the hall.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he is definitely messing with him. When you said that he gets...
right there. To Be Beautiful. Related elements. Illusion discs. Eleanor gives Sarah a special necklace and tells her to never take it off. The story end reveals pendant seems to function similar to illusion discs. Even the Ultimate Guide calls it out. There you go.
Yeah. What I was going to say is when you said that Sergio gets more and more disconnected from reality, it really reminded me of Henry messing with, making the 4 Charlottes.
Right.
Which he used illusion discs to do that, and he got really disconnected from reality.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So illusion discs, pretty solid canon.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Sweet. And a little side note. Remember how we said that a frequency makes animatronics not see the rooms?
Right, safe rooms.
Yeah, the safe rooms. That makes sense, right?
Yep.
And we've got frequencies messing with the appearance of animatronics. Do you think that FNaF AR animatronic cloaking is illusion disc based?
Why would you say yeah?
I mean that's
or not illusion, but a frequency basically.
It's better than just them being invisible, just cause.
just cause invisible, yeah.
The canonicity of FNaF AR is questionable, but
yeah,
isn't it? Underscore.
Don't want to talk about it.
We don't talk about it.
Oh, come on!
Stop.
I'm calling this episode We Don't Talk About the Timeline.
That's a good one, actually. There you go.
William develops 2 above-ground observation rooms which are connected by tunnels to the Afton Robotics facility. While one room resembled a typical house hallway, the other resembled a child's bedroom. Odds are these rooms weren't entirely what they appeared to be, likely using both illusion disc technology and gases to get the look down. It's also likely that William used some of his own household items as props, such as lamps, picture frames, and even some of the crying child's toys. William is able to observe these rooms from a set of cameras held in the Afton Robotics private room. I would agree.
Yep.
Sweet. That all makes sense?
All makes sense.
Yeah.
I do need to point out why I said they're above ground, because Fredbear's on the same grid map is above ground. They've got to be, right?
Yeah. I agree.
Just some random buildings or rooms he has nearby. I think it'd be cooler if they were underground, but they probably aren't.
And why can't they be below the house but above sister location?
They could be, I suppose. We really don't know. I should probably remove above ground and just leave it ambiguous.
Because the game's leaving ambiguous.
The way I see it is it's definitely connected with sister location, right? So it's above that.
Yeah.
But
maybe not.
It doesn't necessarily have to be above ground.
Yeah.
Right.
And if it is, anyone can just walk in,
Right. Also, it's like, how did he... okay. So, the rooms you're talking about are the rooms we see in the FNAF 4 gameplay, correct?
Yes, the actual physical rooms that exist.
So, is the FNAF 4 gameplay real or is it
No.
A little bit of both.
You know how little that helps?
Michael, later down the timeline, is experiencing nightmares of the FNaF 4 gameplay, but that would then mean that someone, at some point in the timeline, had to have physically experienced those rooms. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, why can't it just be a nightmare?
Because who's inflicting the nightmare on him? He's not just having nightmares of rooms he's never seen,
Well,
is he?
I mean, that's a thing that's possible. I mean,
That is true. Larson has visions.
Yeah. Like, one time I had a nightmare where I was just in, like, a random, like, water park. Like, I didn't have to be there to know that place, I guess.
But that doesn't necessarily contradict anything, because the observation rooms are observation
Yeah,
rooms.
I don't disagree. I do agree that there are physical observation rooms. I'm just saying that, how do we know that, you know what I'm saying? Because, like,
I think a good argument is, what are the odds that William makes those rooms and they never, ever, ever get used? That's
not very likely.
my argument. Yeah. And I'm saying, thus, someone has to experience them, and probably that someone is who's giving Michael these nightmares.
right.
But either way,
But-
Michael isn't being tested on. It's
Yeah,
it's
it's a
outside of
little
the
kid.
rooms.
Who?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was are we saying that Bite Victim was the one that experienced the nightmares?
So
I've got a
underscore
bit of a
things, Andrew.
controversial take on that.
Oh boy,
Do we wanna
Very
talk about that,
nuanced.
or-
here we go. No, let's let him. Let we haven't had a crackpot theory in so long.
No,
I know this crackpot theory.
we're getting there. Ozone's in the thick of it by now. He knows it. We're getting there. If we just continue on with this timeline, we'll get there.
All right.
Oh, were we? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to
I've
cover
been doing
that
a lot
and
more-
everybody kill us about the
I've been doing a lot more
podcast.
website development than timeline making. So there.
Nice. Okay, next
Yes,
paragraph.
underscore's website will be in the description. Make sure to check it out.
Well, actually,
Yeah, they've been in the descriptions for.
oh sweet, it's
Just
so
so people
useful.
can, like,
It's so good.
Yeah, because I was like, people might want to follow along, so I've been having them in the descriptions for basically all of season 2.
I make a dark
Nice.
rooms page eventually.
Cool.
Oh, do it.
Yeah.
Key quotes.
All right.
The point of these rooms was to test the use of illusion disc animatronics with a new generation of suits. In preparation for the opening of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, William made a set of 4 suits based around the Banderbet characters who had become so popular. These springlock animatronics of Freddy, Bonnie, Foxy, and Chica with built-in illusion discs would hypothetically make their appearance based on the individual's interpretation, heightening the experience of seeing them at the pizzeria.
Which is,
Something.
I would agree with that
always-
because like kids always love the animatronics, but whenever there's a teenager or anybody else in the books, or they've always like the animatronics are creepy. So
Yeah, or they're lame.
yeah,
They're too old for them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, what I'm saying in this is that the 4 nightmare animatronic suits were indeed intended to be used at Freddy's, but they don't get used. Because we know that eventually there's going to be the bite, there's going to be springlock failures. These guys basically get scrapped, and William just tests with them with the illusion discs, but that's as far as they go.
Right.
Keep in mind they have 5 fingers, springlock suits.
Right. I agree
Now-
with that.
Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that Nightmare and Nightmare Fredbear? Well, okay, let's skip Nightmare. Nightmare's definitely not real, but do you think that Nightmare Fredbear was ever an actual animatronic like these guys, or
Well,
he was
I mean,
just,
why
or he's
can't-
just
why-
a figment?
Why can't he just be like the other nightmares? I mean, you just said that the other 4 nightmares were just like springlock suits with illusion discs. Why can't Nightmare Fredbear be the same?
Well, there's some definable Nightmare Fredbear and Nightmare. They're quite different from the main 4. You know what I mean? They're a lot more special in a way,
Well, I mean,
and that's why.
are they more
Right.
special just because we as the fan base like agree that they're more special? Because it's gold. It's basically Golden Freddy, and Nightmare is Nightmare, right?
Shadow Freddy.
Right.
All I'm saying is that the merit that they have parallels to Golden Freddy and Shadow Freddy make it possible that they're less real than these guys, but Fredbear could genuinely still be a real animatronic used
Right.
in these.
I think
Nightmare definitely no. Nightmare definitely not.
Nightmare's definitely just like his name. He's just Nightmare.
Yeah, he's not real. He never
I
existed.
want to point out Nightmare Fredbear's line in Ultimate Custom Night. There is more than an illusion to fear.
Okay, so he could have been real. Yes, definitely.
What I okay with that with if we're gonna use lines like that, we have to like talk about like because there are multiple interpretations of that like there's more than an illusion to fear like like,
Illusion discs.
right illusion disc or like an illusion
Now
to fear
there is more than an
or
illusion.
the fear is the illusion or you know what I mean. Maybe you don't know
Well,
what I mean.
they're physical now in UCN, but when they were old, they weren't physically these nightmarish entities. They were illusions.
Right.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my favorite lines too.
Yes.
I
always have it in my head.
All right, who's ready for crackpot theory time?
Oh, let's.
Crackpot
Yes,
theory.
please. I've been waiting all my life for another crackpot theory.
Actually,
We need
you
to, like-
you really want one?
Yes. Give.
I think I know who actually experiences the FNaF 4 bed or the FNaF 4 illusion rooms, and it's not the crying child.
Is it Michael?
No. Reed.
Oh.
No, wait. I think we should I think we should next season have a jingle going like crackpot theory. Like that.
Read
Like,
it. Read
like
the
an
thing.
intermission.
Read it,
Shut
Ozone.
up! I'm reading it. With the illusion disc observation experiment prepared, all William needed was a test subject, and he had the perfect individual in mind. Andrew was a kid who would frequent Fredbear's in late hours of the night, running off to avoid abuse from his drunken father. Since Andrew was already running off in the middle of the night, William knew nobody would be all too suspicious if he were to disappear one night.
What's up, Psychic?
So Midnight Motorist is Andrew? That's what you're saying?
Yes.
So that would explain the color orange instead of purple.
Yes, they would.
But it also means that there's loads of red herrings in Midnight Motorist, which I
I
don't
have
like.
a problem with, but I still think is possible that those are red herrings. Yes.
Okay, here's my question. You can explain it all you want, but why would Scott do that in that game?
Yeah.
Like why would he introduce a character that we won't see for let's see here FNaF 6 came out what? Like 2018? Fazbear Fright started coming out in
Holy crap.
2020. Like that's
2019 December.
All right, end of 2019. So let's see here and okay, so Midnight Motor FNaF 6 came out like December of 2018, I believe. So that's a year difference. Why?
Here.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like why start a
Yes,
puzzle?
I get what you're saying. It's super stretchy to connect this character from 2021 to this character from 2019. Big year difference. My logic. One, we start at the fact that Stitch Wraith is canon.
All right.
Andrew's canon.
All right.
Andrew is a victim of William. He had to have been killed somewhere on the timeline.
Right. Okay.
Where is he killed? Let's find him a spot. This is the spot that I've chosen for where Andrew fits in.
All right. And is this like leading to Andrew was like the one you should not have killed?
And yep.
Which would explain the he.
Yep. Which
also Andrew is a lot. Say it.
I was just gonna say, this is like one thing I really like about this theory is it explains why Andrew is the one you should not have killed. Because like
he was tortured.
He was tortured. So he tortures William.
He's so much more spiteful, and consider Psychic. UCN is just payback. It's him doing the exact same thing that happened to him to William.
I guess it is. It
Right?
is. Okay. Yeah.
That's the one thing I really like about this theory.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my main thing is the UCN connection.
And it's something that a lot of theories don't have is like a story. And I think you've like captured a good story element here.
I think I think this theory is actually the most satisfied I've ever been with Midnight Motorist. The most unsatisfactory minigame.
Right. Yeah. Midnight Motorist is.
I wouldn't say that, but
you've been more satisfied with Midnight Motorist than this?
No. Well, I don't know.
But
I've never been satisfied with Midnight Motorist. Let's just say that.
All right.
That's
okay.
fair.
Next question. If
just say the next question.
If Andrew is the one you should have killed, why do we see Golden Freddy at the final intermission? Is Andrew Golden Freddy?
That's to do with Cassidy leaving Golden Freddy or something.
So here's the thing. The idea is that do you remember the New Kid?
Yes.
What happens in the New Kid?
New Kid, Kelsey gets spring locked, and then he is alive again somehow, and people.
We don't. Okay, gosh dang! I was about to say it again. We don't talk about Kelsey.
We don't talk about Kelsey.
I'm gonna ban you. I'm gonna ban you from this podcast.
We're talking about the black curly-haired kid in the Fredbear suit.
Right.
The idea is that after William is done with experimenting on Andrew, he kills Andrew, stuffs him in the Fredbear suit, because, one, we have that black-haired kid in the Fredbear suit in New Kid, and two, maybe by this time, and we haven't gotten there on the timeline, by this time, the bite has already happened, and the Fredbear suit is the perfect decommissioned spot to put a body.
All right, so where does Bite Victim go? Where's Bite Victim?
I haven't got... Well, the interesting thing is, Fredbear is where Andrew's stuffed. Golden Freddy is where Cassidy's stuffed.
Well,
Golden Duo, but Cassidy and Andrew.
The one you shouldn't have killed, or Fredbear was killed at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
Fredbear was killed?
Wait.
Fredbear was killed at Freddy Fazbear.
The spirit in Fredbear was killed at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
What I'm saying is that the Fredbear suit, you know the Springlock decommissioning?
Yeah.
All golden suits are probably moved over to Freddy's safe room. That's why the Purple Spring Bonnie is noticeably moved, and that's what he uses to kill Susie. The Fredbear Spring Bonnie. That makes sense, right?
And
it's got a purple bow tie.
You're saying Andrew got stuffed at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza?
Andrew got murdered, stuffed into Fredbear's, and eventually that Fredbear suit was moved to Freddy's.
But the spirit in Fredbear got killed at Freddy's because of the one Fredbear line in Ultimate Custom Night. There was more fantasy and fun where I came from. Remember that?
You keep saying the Fredbear spirit.
Well, yeah, because it's Fredbear's voice line. If you death coin Golden Freddy and then Fredbear's jump scare.
Viewers of the podcast, I am hella confused.
Okay, so in Ultimate
Golden Freddy, Cassidy, and Andrew, but I don't care.
So Ozone in Ultimate Custom Night, if Golden Freddy is on one difficulty and you use the death coin on him.
No, I know how Fredbear is spawned. Yes.
Yeah, and then his death line
we're
says.
We're not talking about gameplay. We're talking about lore.
His gameplay, his line.
Yeah, his line where he says like. There's more fantasy and fun where I came from, which is the line Phone Guy says in FNaF 1, this is the place of fantasy and fun.
That's true.
So, the spirit of Fredbear was killed.
Does Fredbear have a spirit?
Possibly.
Isn't Fredbear Golden Freddy?
What? Are you okay?
Is Fredbear not Golden Freddy?
What?
What? Am I...
Are you talking about the animatronic itself having its own spirit, and that is Golden Freddy?
No, I'm saying does Fredbear eventually become Golden Freddy?
I'm suggesting that Andrew being stuffed into Fredbear does become a part of Golden Freddy.
All right, at Freddy's where does the location of his stuffing happen?
His stuffing probably happens at Fredbear's, but the suits eventually move to Freddy's. Or he just gets stuffed at Freddy's while the suit's at Freddy's. Either way, he ends up at Freddy's.
All right.
And that makes him the sixth kid of the MCI, just like Into the Pit. There's 6 bodies.
What happens to Devon?
Who?
Devon.
From
Is
the
that
new
the kid?
He gets spring-locked at the end.
He's irrelevant. We don't even know if the new kid's canon.
Wow. So you can use stuff from the new kid, but it's not canon. Huh?
We don't know if it's canon.
Oh boy.
Look, anyways.
How much more do you have on the score? How much more do you have?
I was gonna look. I still didn't answer your question. Why is Golden Freddy fading out in UCN?
Right.
Imagine instead of the Crying Child and Cassidy being Golden Freddy, it's actually Andrew and Cassidy.
All right.
And when the entire time we've been thinking that Cassidy's the vengeful one, she's actually super chill. It's just Andrew, the actual black-haired kid who's not a parallel, who has been the angry one.
Would make sense because wasn't Cassie just chill in the novels?
Yeah, she was picking up papers.
Yeah, true.
All right. Underscore. How much more?
And her fading out.
How much more of your timeline do you have done? Because we are at an hour. We might want to say
we're at an hour. Let's wrap it up.
We want to do a part 2.
Let's make a really long episode.
We can either do a long episode or a part 2. We could
part 2.
Or we can just record both parts now. And decide later.
Yeah. Okay,
well, I don't. The problem is we're already super late in, but I have like 2 more of these little paragraphs left. That's it.
All right.
Okay, we'll finish.
But we could talk a ton more. We could talk a ton more even without having paragraphs.
Right. So why don't we do your last 2 paragraphs? We'll cut it off there, and then we'll record a part 2 where we talk about stuff after the paragraphs. Does that sound good?
All right.
Ozone, does that sound good to you?
All right. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay. Let's see. Read this one.
On the evening of Saturday.
Ozone.
Okay, Ozone, do it.
I mean, you can do it.
All right. On the evening of Saturday, November 5th, 1983, William went to Andrew's bedroom window dressed as a spare spring Bonnie costume, with Andrew's brother watching TV and their father out drunk driving. Nobody was there to notice Andrew lock his door and break his bedroom window. William lured Andrew outside, kidnapping him, and brought him to the Afton Robotics observation room.
Question 1. November
5th. This is a weird one. I'm gonna have to dig it. How much time do we have?
As long as you like, it can go a little bit longer than an hour. It's not like a hard and fast rule of the show.
I want you to look at. Oh, this is gonna be a weird info dump. I want you to look at this.
Okay, so what are we looking at here? Explain.
We're looking at a map of both the nightmares that Andrew's experiencing and the week of the FNaF 4 minigames happening simultaneously.
Okay.
And look,
oh God, okay.
I kind of timed the this kind of week with 1, we're in November, coincidentally after Charlotte's murder, and 2, FNaF 1 and 2 happen in November on pretty much this exact week. I figured, Golden Freddy's most often showing up nights 6 and 7. Just line it up like that, and look at it. Beautiful.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
All right.
Sort of. I mean, we're not gonna be able to show this on the podcast, really.
On the Spotify version, but on YouTube, I'll just put it up on screen.
Oh yeah, just do it. Yeah. Most everybody watches on YouTube.
Yeah, everyone watches on YouTube anyway, or most everybody.
No, they don't.
More people watch.
They did.
Yeah, more people watch on YouTube than Spotify.
Well, it doesn't really matter. I don't look at the analytics either way.
Whatever. All right.
So, it doesn't matter.
That's why I said November 5th.
Right. Okay, makes sense.
And a problem with this is, keep in mind, when I had problem like mapping this, because keep in mind, the nightmares, like from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m., that's actually happening before a day starts. I was always putting them on the same day, but the later that night kind of premise going on. But they are, in fact, before any minigames, because they're the next day.
Okay.
They're the first hours of a day.
Right.
Just before it becomes daytime.
I'm not sure about a lot of this, but
it doesn't matter.
I'm gonna mute real quick because my dog's barking.
Your logic. Okay. Anyway, I see your logic.
Right.
William went to Andrew's bedroom. Okay. Yeah. The problem I do have with Midnight Motorist is, of course, like there is someone watching TV. That's a big parallel to Michael Afton.
He looks like Michael. There's evidence.
The drunk driving is like,
yeah.
It's all like too big of a red herring for me to believe it fully. But
the biggest problem I had with Midnight Motorist was, why is Fredbear's not next to the Afton house?
That's
and not in a neighborhood. That was the biggest issue I had with Midnight Motorist.
And the orange guy.
Problem is
Marmalade Man.
When William's talking, I actually had an explanation for that too. When William's talking in Fruity Maze as Spring Bonnie, he has two different text colors. One is blue and one is yellow.
Yeah, that always confused me. What is up
And-
with that?
But red herring, potentially.
Perfect. How
That's
lovely.
the idea that's going on.
Perfect. Later that night, Andrew's drunk father came home after being denied entry from Junior's nearby bar, where he likely caused a scene earlier that night. That makes sense because later that night,
Yeah.
Andrew's brother was hoping that their father would leave Andrew alone tonight because he had a bad day, but their father wasn't intending on that. He found Andrew's door locked, so he went around to the back of the house, only to discover his window broken, thinking that he might have just run off to Fredbear's like he had done many times before. But of course, as we know, there's paw prints, so he's been abducted.
Right.
Yep, William got him. Now, I think this actually might be a really good thing. A part of what I'm about to drop is like super tough to understand, but also super explaining. It wraps
Okay.
up a really big question.
All right.
Is Psychic
All right.
here?
I'm here. Yeah, I'm still here.
Read this.
William probably thought that he would get away with the kidnapping without any issue, but something had gone wrong. William's youngest son, the crying child, had been there, and he had witnessed this Andrew's kidnapping. After taking Andrew to the facility and realizing his own fault, William has to find a way to influence the crying child so that his secret doesn't get out. The product of this is the set of Fazbear plushies, which William plants around the neighborhood in the Afton household.
Does that
Remember
make sense?
what you
Psychic?
saw. Remember that's why he's scared of
Yeah.
only the spring-lock suits.
Why is he scared of the golden suits? Yes, that's exactly why. Because he either was for some reason at Andrews, which would be weird. You know, maybe they were buddies. They ran off to Fredbear's together. I don't know. Or he saw William freaking dragging a kid into the cellar wearing Spring Bonnie, like at their house. You know,
And then that makes sense.
it makes a lot of sense. The math on how the crying child saw it or what he saw is iffy, but him seeing Andrew get kidnapped by a golden suit answers so much.
Right. Because
Right?
the other enemy, because he says Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy are his friends, even Foxy, even though he's like all like his brother's scaring him.
Head ripped off. Yeah. But he's afraid of specifically golden suits. So I assume he had to have seen William somehow doing something with Andrew while wearing that
Does
golden
that
Spring Bonnie
link
suit.
to? Does that link to what is seen in shadows is misunderstood in the eyes of a child?
Probably. There's no way he could have known that this was his dad dragging a kid away to
Right.
the basement.
So he just thought that it was the robots.
He thought it was Spring Bonnie, and now he's afraid of all the golden suits. The character itself.
Right.
That makes
Oh,
sense.
that's true. I completely misthought about that.
Yeah. And it makes sense. If William
It's not just gonna be a crying child's dad dragging a kid across the floor.
Nah, it's
gonna
Spring
be
Bonnie.
Spring Bonnie. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it also explains if William knows that the crying child saw, he's got to keep tabs on him. I guess it makes a little more sense that he would put the plushies all around the neighborhood if the crying child had, ran away and seen the thing happen at Andrews. Odds are he saw it at their house, and he's just got to keep tabs on him wherever he goes. But
Right.
I think it explains a lot of what's up with the crying child and why the plushies exist. Why William's got to keep tabs on him.
And the Fredbear
Okay.
plush tells him to go away from the Springlock suits to like, yeah.
You
From
know what
she
you
said-
saw. You know what will happen if he catches you.
Yeah. These plushies have built-in cameras allowing for William to monitor the movements from the private room. The speakers built into each plushie allows William to talk to the crying child, allowing for the plushie to act reassuring in hard times, but also perpetuate the crying child's newfound fear of the golden suits, like we just said. Yep.
That's it. That's all I have, actually.
That's it? That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. That's where we're going to end this first episode of the timeline. We still got more stuff to talk
Wow.
about because we haven't even got... Well, we've a little bit there. We've barely gotten to the gameplay of FNaF.
We should have foreseen
Wait,
this.
what else do we record? I don't have any more paragraphs.
Don't we just like figure? Like, I think. Well, I guess the rest of the timeline is pretty clear from this point on. Like, well, is it though?
So,
Do we know like which game?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if
I
we
think
should
it
do
is.
another one today or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Maybe we.
All right, let's just end this one.
how about what if we end this one and then we wait like a week or two and let the comments talk, and then we like talk about what the
I'll
comments
also write more timeline.
Right.
I'll write more.
All right. So the part 2 for this won't be out like next week, but it's still gonna be. It's gonna be there. Maybe Ink will be here next time, and yeah. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Dark Rooms podcast, and yeah, thanks so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.